Hi everyone, I'm Hannah from Bundaberg Fruit and Vegetable Growers, and today I'm with Jan Papacek from Bugs for Bugs, who is a local Queensland fruit fly expert. Today I'm going to be asking Dan some questions that you have asked us for coming in to collect a free fruit fly trap that we haven't been able to answer. So how are you today, Dan?
Yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, good to be here. Yep.
Right, so first off, I would just want to get some background about you. So why did you decide to pursue a career in entomology?
I guess when I went to university, it was just a subject that fascinated me, and I pretty soon got interested in sort of the sustainable aspects of pest management. So it applies to biological control and fruit fly management.
So for the people at home who don't know what entomology is, could you maybe explain that to them?
In simple terms, it's the study of insects.
Study of insects.
Yep.
Sweet. So who are Bugs for Bugs, and when did it start?
Well, look, I started the business with my wife almost 40 years ago now, in Mandurah, and my initial work was focused very much on citrus, and that's where I did a lot of the work, with fruit fly. But since then, we've moved into producing a wide range of biocontrol agents, and we supply beneficial insects and mites to most of the horticultural industries and even some of the animal industries around Australia. And we've recently teamed up with an international company, BioBest, as well, so that's a really good thing for us.
Yes, awesome. So with the traps that we've been handing out to the community, some of them been asking how and why you design them specifically that way.
They just evolved over time. We started with a very, very simple little plastic tub sort of thing, and over time we've gradually, we believe, improved them so that they're still a economical but effective trap. And the main thing is it's got to let out a sort of a gentle plume of the sex attractant, but also retain the flies inside, of course, because you want to be able to keep them there and to be able to count them.
Yes, exactly.
It's a fairly simple thing, but it works. They work well.
Right, so now onto the question. So for today's video, I'll be asking you specifically about Queensland fruit fly.
Sure.
So why is it so important that we adequately monitor the Queensland fruit fly numbers?
Look, monitoring is a way to get a handle on what the population is doing, and we've always encouraged growers and people with an interest in sort of even fruit trees in their backyard to use a trap just to get a feel for what the population is doing. The truth is, of course, that if you've got fruit fly present, in other words, if it's warm conditions and you've got fruit that are susceptible, then you really should be taking protective action to protect your crop. But monitoring the population helps give you an idea about whether the numbers are going up or down.
So it's better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah.
Yes. So what kind of damage does Queensland fruit fly do to agricultural crops?
It can be devastating if it's not managed well. Fortunately, we have really good tools and we can manage fruit fly extremely well. And in fact, it's possible for growers in this area to get virtually 100% fruit fly free produce if they do everything right. But if you don't do everything right, fruit fly can devastate a crop.
Yes.
So it can be really quite a damaging pest.
Yes. So how do they cause that damage?
The female fruit fly inserts her ovipositor, it's called. That's the little part that lays the eggs into the fruit when it's getting close to being mature, and those eggs hatch, little grubs develop, and then the fruit starts to form a rot, and it soon drops to the ground, and so you can imagine that fruit becomes completely unsaleable.
Exactly. So why does Queensland have such a high population of this pest contrary to other parts of Australia?
Well, I guess the answer is in the name, isn't it? It's called Queensland fruit fly. But the truth is that, of course, Queensland fruit fly is now spread pretty much throughout the entire eastern seaboard of Australia. And it is native to this part of the world. And it is very much let's just say it's pretty much a tropical, subtropical pest, but it's been able to extend its range further south, particularly as climate conditions are changing too, I guess, and the broad, there's almost a contiguous fruit production now throughout the eastern seaboard of Australia, so that's allowed it to sort of to move further and further afield.
Yes. So could you tell us what the main differences between male and female fruit fly are?
Yeah, to the untrained, it would be very hard to pick them apart, but once you know what you're looking for, the main difference visually is the presence of the ovipositor, and that's the little egg-laying apparatus. So if you look on the tail end of the fruit fly, the females have got a pointy bit that they use for inserting the eggs into the fruit. Other than that, it's not easy to tell them apart. And most people soon, also with a little bit of experience, get to recognise Queensland fruit fly because it's quite distinctive, with its coloration and that. But in the early days, a lot of people, of course, confuse the fruit fly we're talking about, the Damage's fruit, with the the common, we call them Drosophila type fruit flies that occur in the fruit bowl if you've got a piece of rotten fruit there, and they're quite different animals.
Oh yes,
quite
definitely.
different animals.
Okay, well thank you for joining us this week, everybody. We'll be back next week with our second instalment of the interview with Dan. The Bundaberg Fruit Fly Community Awareness Program was funded by the Queensland Department of Agriculture and Fisheries.